Hi there. So we have three tests here, and here I have an array of beverages with 5 objects in it. So let's start right away with task 1. So what we're told to do is to use the existing button, list all beverages with names that have more than 5 letters in them. The beverages should be in an unordered list with format name tagline. Okay, so do some pseudocode here. The first step I'll take is to grab the existing button, just this button, the click B. So grab existing button from HTML. Okay, so I will add an event listener to the button, which when clicked would type in a callback function called, let's just say, long bev, right? So that will list all beverages with names that have more than 5 letters in them. So I have to create a variable with the filter method that would get beverages, okay, beverages with names that have more than, let's just say with name dot length, with names with dot length greater than 5. And the beverages should be in an unordered list. Check if there is an unordered list in HTML, grab it or create one. And with the LIs, and let the li that inner text equals, I'll definitely use some interpolation there. So let me copy this, copy it, post it. Okay, this, I think we're good for now. Let me start to code and see. There might be other things I might have missed out. So grab the existing button from HTML. Where is the button? So this is the button. Okay. And so I'll be getting this ID. I've copied it, go to script, so let's call it I say bev button would be document get element by ID bev button. Right, yep. So I will add an event listener to the bev button. Bev button dot add event listener. Right. So when it clicks, I want it to do something. So to be sure that this is working, right, let me call an anonymous function and say console.log working. Let me refresh this. Click. Okay, it's working. Good. So here I will, this would be a placeholder for my function. Right. Yeah. So let me create my function first and then. So what I said was create a variable. Okay, so called for a variable that would take in the, so let me create a variable, the long names and say, so here I want to get beverages with names that have longer than 5 letters, like Pilsen, Lager, Noble. So what I'll do is beverages. I'll copy this and say, call the filter function in it and say beverage, callback function, and say beverage dot name dot length greater dot length greater than 5. So let me refresh this and come over here to see if my long names were, let me execute it, and yeah, it works. Okay, working, good. So what's the next step? So now my next step would be this function that I'm gonna replace with this. So let me create the function, long bell. Now, so I want this function to iterate this long bev and create all of this other things in it. So I will call the long bev and say for each, right? For each and say bev and say bev. Oh my god, no. Yeah. So for each one of them, so use the existing button to list all beverage you have. The beverage should be in the list. So now this is where I have to go grab the unordered list from the HTML. So this is it. Okay, so we have the unordered list. Come here, create it, say constant bev equals document, just get element by ID, paste it on list. So we have the UL, but we would have to create the LI. So I would say bev li constant bev li will be document dot create element li, right? So we've created this for each one of this long bev names that have longer than 5, right? So the beverages should be in an unordered list with format good to that. So I would then say the bev li, the inner tag would be this, the interpolation that I spoke about, but I'm going to do it this way because I wanted to get it. You know what? Actually, let me type it from scratch. So this is what's going to happen. I want the bev inner text to have the format of the bev name and the bev tagline, which is this. So I would interpolate and say bev dot the name, right? And then this because it wants an hyphen in it. Then get me also the bev dot tagline. Right? Okay. So after that, we would need to do one more thing. We need to append this li to our ul. So we would say that ul dot append child that li. Then we need to call the function and replace it here. Okay, so let's see if, yeah, and that's it. Yep, working. So let's go to our task 2. Yeah, so task 2, let me move this a bit. So it's just, okay. All right, so for task 2, make buttons for all elements of the array. Okay, this is for all the elements of the array. The buttons should have the tagline as there in the visible text. When clicked, this button should fire an alert that says XXS is delicious, where the XXS is filled with the name. Put buttons in button array container. Okay, I'm gonna do some pseudocode here to break down. Okay, first is create button for all the elements, for all the, let me just call it for all beverages, right? Because that's the elements of the array. And next is the buttons should have the tagline as a visible text. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do actually is to call the for each method on beverages and input it in a variable, right? Yes. So inside of the variable, inside the variable is where let me say inside the for each method actually, that's where I will create the button for all elements, and the buttons that interject would be the beverages dot tagline. Now the button should have the tagline as the visible text. When clicked, okay, add an event listener to the buttons. When clicked, this button should fire up. Okay, so click, fire up an anonymous function that then says alert would be beverages is filled with the name, right? Access is filled with the name. So beverages.name, beverages.name. I would have to do just to be safe. I'd like to put it in this where beverages is filled with the name. The beverages is delicious. By the way, this isn't even a must, but when I'm coding, I'll practice it to see if it makes any difference, which no, it doesn't. It still works with or without the curly bracket. So where was I? Where X is filled with the name. Okay, delicious with the exclamation mark. Okay, and then I will put it in the buttons container. So I would have to grab the buttons container from the HTML. Then I will have to append buttons to the button container. Okay, so let's start the fun stuff. Grab the buttons container from the HTML. Button this. Yeah, many buttons here. So I'll say many buttons. This is document.get element by ID. Yeah. Okay, so now go to the second one. Hold the for each and put it in a variable. So I will say, and let's say all bev. Let's call it all bev. Would be beverages that for each, right? Bev, yeah. So now inside of the for each create button. So constant button, yeah, document that create element but button. And the button, I'm just following my pseudo code right now. Buttons that inner text will be bell, because I put a bell here, so that's why. Bell dot tagline. So adding an event listener to button, event listener, when it's clicked, anonymous function, I wanted to return an alert that says that. So yeah, let's try what I was talking about here. Let's, without the interpolation, let's see what it does. Tagline. Actually, I would need the interpolation because because I'm gonna be putting in the why I need an interpolation is because I'm gonna be including this string, right? It's delicious. Yeah, because of this string I'm adding to it, I have to include the interpolation. So yeah. But you know what? I'm gonna try this, try to run it and see if it works, and then try it without the interpolation and see what happens. So the last step is to append the buttons to the many buttons. So many buttons that append child button. So let's see. Okay, so it works. So let me click on it. Yeah. Oh, it says filled with the name. Oh, my bad. The name. So I click on it. Okay. A real bitter experience. Bars, issue. Taxi brand. Okay. So what I'll say now, let's try it without this and change this backtick, which is the posture. Nah. Okay. Plus, let's try this. Let's try this. It should work. Yeah, it should work. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's include the space. Yeah, it worked. Yep. 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 Okay, so let's begin with the last task and see what happens. Yeah. Okay, so make a button that fires off a function when clicked. Okay, the function will grab input from form and create a new beverage with that name and an ID which follows from the last one in the beverages array. You can make up all the other data that goes into the new beverage object. As evidence that beverage was created, you should be able to look in console to see that the beverages array has a new element. You should also see a message pop up in the browser that says a new beverage called SSS, the name, was created and added to the array. Pretty long tasks, so that's why pseudocode is helpful. Let's get straight into pseudocode. Make a button the size of a function when called. So what I see here is create a button, add an event listener when clicked, right? Fire, let's say fire function. Fire function, let's just call it that, fire function. Fires off a function when clicked, okay? Now, this function of ours will grab input from one. Now, let me check, is there a font here? No font. So this means that we would have to create a form, fun. Okay, so inside of the function, so this function will grab input from form. All right. Okay, so inside of the function, I'll come back to that. Let me focus on the form here, then come back to what the function will do. So I will create a function, no, a form rather. Create a form, create a form impute that would have the set attribute, right? Let me put this in another line. So which will be form dot the attribute, yeah, form impute, not form itself. Form impute dot set attribute. Attribute. Okay. So the type, I want the type to be text, of course. And the second, let me copy and paste it. The second attribute I'll like is, let's just say placeholders. In the placeholder, I will say enter the bevel. Right. Okay. So I will also create a submit button with inner text submit. So to put all of this together, I would have to append form.append child would be form impute, and also I want to append the submit button. Okay, right. So after I do this, right, because it says the function will grab input from form and create a new beverage with that name. Okay, so and an ID which follows on from the last one, the beverages. We can make up all the other stuff. Okay, what I see here is, okay, there are two things coming to my mind. First is to target this. I'm targeting the form input, the value, number one. And number two is to create a new object, right? That has all the other stuff. But down this new object, I wanted the ID to follow from the beverages, the beverages. So it continues following from the last one of the beverages array. So I would say beverages.length, right? Plus, oh no, beverages dot length dot ID. I definitely have to try this out when I'm coding. Actually, it should be bev.id.length, right? Yeah, but I'm definitely, this is why we're gonna try this out. Plus, oh, Since it's following from the last one, you could just say beverages.length. This wouldn't be needed. Mhm. Then the name would be this, the form impute the value, right? And then it says you can make up all the other data that goes into the beverage array. So I'm just let's say copy and just figure this out. Well, you know what? I'll do it when I'm coding. No need to overpopulate the pseudocode. Okay, so next is as evidence that the beverage, you know what? Let's 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 tackle this first. Then we'll come back to this other one. Yeah, let's tackle this first. So create a button. Okay, so I'm just thinking, yeah, because I don't see where we need to append this to. So I'm guessing that we would have to append everything to the document body because I don't see where we could append it in the HTML. So we might have to append all of this to the append all to document the body. Yeah, because there's no, we're not told where to append it to, so I might as well just append it to the body or create a new div to put it in there. I could choose either way. So let's start. Yeah, the fun stuff. So create a button, let's say constant new button. Let's constant new button document that create element button. Add an event listener to the button. Dot add event listener when it's quick. Just say for now, let's just say console.log. Yeah, right? And let's say document dot body dot append. This is the append and just say new button. See what happens. I don't know if you can see this, but apparently there is a button, but I didn't put a inner text, so it's so tiny over here. Like this. So that inner text, I am here. Yeah, okay. Works, good. So this is just the placeholder for the function that I will be creating, right? So says this will fire a function. Function will grab, impute, and form. And now let's create our form. Form document.create element form. Let's also create the impute document.create element impute, and then the form impute that set attribute type text form impute that set another attribute. I'm following my pseudocode here. Okay, so that, yeah, got distracted a bit. So the placeholder will be enter your salary. Yep, this is why pseudocode is really important. It leads you on the right track. So it just helps break things down and make things easier. So create a submit button, constant submit button, just to be sure nothing has that same name here. Okay, so I don't have an issue. Document, create element, button, submit button, that inner text will be submit. Yes, so now let's do the append form dot append child form impute form dot append child submit button. Now let's take the same thing over here. Let's say okay, yep, form, let's see, good. This is our submit button and our form. Okay, making progress. So this would most definitely all be in the function, right? So I will create the function later on. I just want to get the sub parts working. Then I would include all of them together as one piece. The next step is to now grab my impute from form and create a new object, new beverage. So I'm creating a new beverage like this, entire one like this. So what I'm gonna do is to say new bev object, new bev object, right? Yeah, yeah. So I'll start with let me copy one of this so I'll follow the structure. Tag ID, name, tag on, where's the description? Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna edit all of this, edit them. So I want the ID, as said, to follow on from the last one in the beverages. So it has ID 1, ID 2, ID 3, ID 4, ID 5. The next should be ID 6 and ID 7. That would be, I'll just say, as I said here, would be, yeah, this is best to, okay, let's see. Do I need to create the function now so I could get it from the argument, which is, you know what? No, I'll make it the global, I'll use the global variable beverages. Beverages, the lamb, plus one. Now, the name, right? The name is, I want to get the input, this, which is the input, input. So input dot value, input dot value, so say form, input dot value. And well, let me see what is this here. So yeah, I skipped a step. I would like to add an event listener to the form. Add an event listener to the form. Let me quickly include this in the pseudocode. Add event listener to the form. Oh, why I'm adding an event listener from that event listener to the form. So when we submit, right? I want it to do this first, because I want to prevent the default behavior of forms, which automatically reset or reload when you click the submit, for example. Yeah, I want to prevent that. So the first thing I'm going to do is just taking this, that prevent default. So reload, good, it's not reloading now anymore. So after I do that, then what was I going to do again? Okay, and just say form the reset. So for example, if I let me tell you why I want to do form the reset. So if I say gift, for example, yep, submitting, but I want it to go away once I click submit. That's why I'm going to click form that reset. So refresh it, click boost, click it, yeah, it goes away. Yeah, so back to my train of thought. Where was I? So make a button that fires off a function when clicked. Okay. The function will grab input from form. Okay. Let me call this function input grabber and put all my inside of it, right? Okay. Let me just say, let me put in this argument instead to avoid confusion. Okay, I refreshed it. That's why it reloaded. So yeah. So the function will grab input from form and make a new beverage with that name and ID, which follows on the last one in the beverages. You can make up all the other data that goes in the new object. So when you click this, I want it to run for this. When I click it, oh wow, wow, wow. Oh wow, make a, whoa, wait a minute. So this button is just hanging, right? Yeah, so let me see how that connects. Make a button the size of a function when clicked. Now, let's change this to fire function, yes, because I put it here. So make a button the size of a function when clicked. Yeah, okay. Now, this function will grab input from form. Function fire button. But I'm gonna put all of this in my function. We'll grab input from form. And create a new file. So this, right? Okay. Um, one more thing. I'm going to close this here and see what happens. Okay. There's one more thing that I haven't done. I like to push beverages. That's push, right? Wait a minute. Yeah. I need to be sure of the scope for it applies. Push, I, yeah. But before then, I want to see if this actually works. So I want to console.log. I want to console.log. If, let's see, let's try. Okay, yeah, so can't find variable fire function. Oh, fire function, fire button. Let's see. Can't find variable form. Is it? What is it? Variable form. Okay. Oh, I see, 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 I see. That different. Oh, you know what? Let me take this out of this function so it has global variable. Right? So function, let's see, something I'm not missing. Something I'm missing. I need to make a button the size of the function. This is the button. Here, file the function when click. Right. Okay. So when I click the button, the function will grab input from the form and create a new beverage. Beverages. Oh, all right. So now this works. But what I need to do now is let me see what this does. Okay. This is interesting. Okay. This is interesting because apparently this is doing what this is meant to do. So I'm gonna take this out and let this do the job. So where is my submit button? Goodbye. Submit button. Goodbye. Refresh it and say boost. Click here. So now to be sure, let me read it again. Right. Make a button the size of a function and click. So I click in the function will grab input from form. Okay. To this function, make a button. This is my button. So this is the file function. Do, 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 do. This is the default for the form. This is the input grabber that grabs input and form, pushes it to the file object. Function will grab input from form and create a new beverage with that name and an ID which follows from the last one in the bevs array. Okay. Water. Okay, seems to be working. Alright, okay. Which follows from the last one in the bev. You can make up all the other data. Okay, did that as evidence that beverage was created. Should be able to look to the console to see the beverage array has a new element. Okay, good. So I could even click the beverages status field array and see if my additional two. Yeah, so there's 7 now. There previously 5, but now there's 7. 7. Water and boost. Good. Okay. So did that. You should be able to look in the console to see the beverages array. And then you should also see a message up in the browser that says a new beverage called XXS was created. There's a new beverage. So pop up in the browser. To me, that means an alert. Pop up, an alert pops up. So pop up in the browser that says a beverage called XXS was created and added to the array. So just copy it so we're able to see it. So once I push it, I want to say alert. Put the backtick, push it. But the XXS is the name. So I'll say new $, curly bracket, a new back object, dot name, new web object dot name, right? Yeah, new web object dot name was created and added to the array. So let's refresh it and say, ooh, booster. A new beverage called Booster was created and added to the array. Cool. Why isn't my research function working? Why? From the research, let's see another thing. Oh, I see. I see. Because this doesn't have a submit button attached to it, right? So the submit button would trigger the from the reset. But because this says make a button that fires up a function when clicked, and so this is the button that fires up all of this. So it's when I click it, a new beverage called water. So it does all of this. And I say wine, click this, a new beverage called wine was created and added to the array. And this keeps appearing. Yeah, so thank you. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you.